one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nichols Arena for the finals of the 6th annual Regina Mundi Titan Hockey Tournament. Tonight's game features the host team, Regina Mundi, versus crosstown rival Lucas. And joining me in the broadcast booth, I'm Mike Mitchell, along with Dak Thomas. Dak, your thoughts about tonight's game?
I think both of these teams are probably a little surprised to be here with several other clubs being favored, but it's a real tribute to the coaches and the teams involved, Tim Orr, Mike Cheney, and their staffs, that they've done a great job in preparing the teams for the tournament. There are a lot of high-pressure games, and they're trying to get through that many games in such a short period of time, and is a real tribute to them.
Defending the goals to our left is John Min for the Regina Mundi Titans, and to our right it's Martin Sibbald. Your views on the two goalies?
We've only played, we're more experienced with Regina Mundi, having played them twice in exhibition and once in league play, and certainly young Min has played very, very well against us. As far as Lucas is concerned, the lad Sibbald in net has apparently done very well this season in the games he's played, and I think we're looking forward to a great game here.
Well, Lucas is showing a lot of offense early in this game. That's dumped in by Cam Hagel. Hagel just leaves it in the corner there, brought in by Paul Murphy. Now Lucas still controlling it. That's broken up. Murphy will take it out for Regina Mundi. Lost at center ice. Now long shot. That's blocked. Brought in a nice play set up there and almost put in by Baguero. Baguero had a strong initial outing against St. Mary's early in the tournament. That crosses the line now, goes back to center ice where it's slapped back in by Regina Mundi. And we're going to get, I believe, an offside call there. Or no, icing.
Regina Mundi like to get that puck deep and try and set up their big gun, Pladic or Baguero. Played very well this year. Each one of them sporting 10 points apiece in the tournament. Their defensemen are very mobile, particularly the captain, Fletcher.
Well, linesman blows the whistle on that face-off as they're out of position.
Lucas going with Jonas, Danter, and Dwyer now, their second line out. Coach Orr intends to go with 4 lines tonight. A sign often happens when a team has been through 7 games already in a tournament. It's a wise idea.
Theodosilopoulos loses the puck now. It's brought in by Regina Mundi. Nice move there, but he falls down. McKenzie couldn't stay on his feet. Now that's a long point from the shot, way over the glass, and another stoppage of play with 13:45 left to play in the first period of the final game of the tournament.
One of the things that so often happens early in a game like this, the kids are nervous, they're going for a gold medal, and that shot, for example, was almost a waster at the goaltender. It was going pretty high, and I think they'll settle down in a few minutes and make some good plays.
Well, Wong trying to get the puck into the Lucas zone. That's finally dumped in there and goes over the glass for another stoppage of play. And both teams coming out fairly intense, playing in front of the hometown crowds. Hard to give a nod to either team, I guess, because they're both from London, and it's, I guess, nobody has a home arena for that matter. So,
well, if anything, this would be a home rink for Regina Mundi. They practice and play most of their home games out of Nichols, some of them over at Glencairn. Not so for Lucas. Lucas is mainly up at Stronach Arena. Both teams are nip and tuck. They're very close to each other in the standings in the East Division of the London Conference.
Well, long shot taken there, stopped easily by Sibbald. Back out to the point, another long shot wide of the net. Goes along the boards. That's picked up by Tarkowski, and that's knocked back in it. Picked up now by King. King will dump it up into the center ice zone. Kept alive by Benoit. And now Regina Mundi coming back in. Nice play there. Showing some good moves. That puck goes over the net again. Trying to clear it out in front. Sibbald will just swat it back in the corner of the net. It's knocked off its moorings. Back. Looks like Regina Mundi's putting a lot more pressure on Lucas right now. At first it seemed the other way, but settling down a little bit, getting the flow of the game going. Now the Titans are starting to put a little more pressure on Lucas.
I think one of the biggest fortes for Regina Mundi is the fact that they have got some excellent puck handlers up front, and Lucas are playing very well as a team defensively in their own zone. So I think it'll be a case of, you'll find Regina Mundi will put a lot of pressure on, and Lucas will bide their chances for breaks.
Well, shot taken there, but stopped by Sibbald. Shot from the point. Sibbald almost made a really bad rebound when he knocked it out in front of the goal instead of off to the side. And pretty fortunate right now not to have gone down 1-0.
The Lucas defense will have to be very, very careful to pick up the man in the high slot, because the Regina Mundi team tend to work down deep and don't use their points an awful lot.
Puck cleared out of the Lucas zone, knocked back in, but we're going to have offside called. Have been a little early on the call, but nonetheless, another stoppage in play as this face-off go outside the Lucas zone.
Lucas tend to do a very good job of covering the options in their own zone, and I think you'll find that they've got a very young team. They're probably outside of Westminster, one of the youngest teams in the league, and it'll take them a while to settle into this.
Puck picked up by Hagel. He tries to pass. It's taken in by Regina Mundi. Lucas controlling the puck. King has it now. He'll fire it up the center ice, trying to hit Wilby with the pass. Now Siegel will chase that one in, but that's fired along the boards. Noel's there. Stays behind the Titan goal. Titans trying to take it out of their own zone. They'll finally do that now. Nice defensive play there by King. Kept in the center ice area. Slapped in by number 17, Rob Ralph. Puck goes out to center ice, or that's just picked up by Theodosilopoulos. He loses it now. Chance for the Titans. Nice move there, but Lucas is back to pick up their error. Theodosilopoulos now carrying it into the Titans goal. He's knocked off the puck. Goes back out to the blue line. Kept in by Lucas. A long shot. Oh, almost deflected in there. And Min will cover up on that one as a stoppage of play, and some scuffling going on in front of the Titan net.
Ryan Noel, who almost tipped that shot in on the shot from King on the point, has been a good player for Lucas, a very good player for Lucas for several years. He was on the team that won the Ontario Silver Medal, so he's a chap that Coach Tim Orr, will look for a lot of leadership. He's a real hustler. Went to the net well on that play.
Puck goes back to the blue line, carried out now by the Titans. They'll bring it in. Long shot there, stopped easily by Sibbald. Rebound, no, dangerously out in front. Kept in by the Titans now. Chased in by Goodwin. Goodwin leaves it there for Theodosilopoulos. He now tries to hit Dwyer with the pass. Dwyer loses it though to number 21, Chet Fletcher. Fletcher now, long pass up along the sideboards. That's right in the center ice area. McKenzie lost that one and taken by Lucas. Lead pass knocked away and controlled now by the Titans, who just flipped it to center ice. Hagel now trying to get something going. Puck's lost in the skates of the people at center ice. Now it's finally brought in by number 15, Tarkowski. Tarkowski tried to center, but that's broken up and brought down to the center ice area. Now Now Hagel trying to get something going here. Puck going up in front of the Titan goal. That's kept in. And they'll shoot it down the ice. And icing is going to be called on that one with 9:35 left to go in the opening period. No score as of yet.
One thing, Mike, that often happens, high school hockey is a great game in the sense that the kids always crank it up several notches above what they probably do with other leagues, etc., because they're playing in front of a lot of their friends. But early in a game, I think the tendency is to be too quick on their passes and to make maybe the wrong pass instead of just taking that look and slowing it down a little bit, making sure of the play.
Titans control the puck now. They skid over center ice. That's dumped in now. Picked up by Bogart, was offside, I believe. I'll have another whistle on the play as both teams change between this face-off. That's a bit of a stoppage in play. Yeah, the Titans are really starting to use their size over Lucas, and I think that's going to start paying off for them shortly.
I haven't got in front of me here the ages, but I think there is a slight age advantage for the Titan team as far as maturity is concerned. I know Tim has mentioned this is probably the youngest team he's ever had, and he's done the usual excellent job in coordinating these fellas. Of course, Mike Cheney has his older boys. It's going to be an interesting final.
Puck brought in by the Titans, a long shot wide of the net. Dumped into the corners there, chased in by Schenkel. Schenkel trying to feed it out front. His man pass knocked off. Another shot is blocked by the defenders. Goes back into the corner. Picked up by Theodosilopoulos. He passes it off. Regains control. Some forechecking by number 27, Laguero. And now the puck brought out by Siegel, and he loses control of that one. Nice hit there by Schenkel as Lucas keeps control. Puck knocked down behind the Titan goal, high sticking, and we'll have a stoppage of play in the Titan end.
The Lucas team now are starting to move that puck much better. They're looking for their men. They're getting some width and depth in their attack, and as so often happens early in a game, teams tend to feel security in numbers. They bunch up a little bit, and now they're starting to see the ice and move the puck a lot better.
The Titans carry it out to center ice. They'll bring it over the blue line. Pass out in front of the net. Nobody. He just covered up, and we're going to have a stoppage of play as the net was knocked off its moorings. Good crowd on hand for the final game of the 6th annual Regina Mundi tournament. And it's nice to see, I guess, the host tournament in the final of their own tournament, or the host team in the final of their own tournament.
Well, Mike must be is obviously very pleased. They've done extremely well, as is Tim Orr, but it's also very nice for the tournament committee to have two local teams, because it certainly helps at the gate, and they have got a gratifying number in this building tonight. I don't know what the attendance is, but it holds about 1,000 or a bit more, and it looks like they may even have about 800 in here, so that's great.
Puck dumped in the corner, goes back out toward the point now. Lucas will carry it out. Long cross-ice pass to King. King will just dump it in there and let his forwards chase it in as Brown goes in there behind the net. He knocks it out in front, but that's hits the side of the net. Now Titans will carry it out again. Out to center ice, long pass there. That's off the stick. Into the corner. Robertson trying to shake off his man. Puck still behind the net now. King will take it out, and he'll just knock it down the ice. Icing waved off, and the Titans knock it back up to center ice. Puck carried over the blue line, and McKenzie's dumped. Fans calling for a penalty there. McKenzie takes another hit along the boards,
and they got a call.
We got
number 21 is
Ryan Noel. Is going to go off on this one, or maybe not. No, we had a call. Maybe it was just nice puck. Hard to see. The broadcast booth is kind of in an awkward spot here. Oh no, It's puck. The penalty's going to Theodosopoulos. Or Theodosopoulos, I'm sorry.
Glad you had to pronounce that one, Mike.
The Titans on a power play now. 7:11 to go in the first period, as Martin Sybil will cover up there. Good chance now for the Titans to get on the board early and set the tone. Face off to the left of Sybil. Won by the Titans, but it's not kept in. And didn't manage to keep it in. And Jamie McLeod just let it go over the blue line, and the whistle was called on the offside. The linesman was pretty quick to whistle that one down.
It's so important on a power play to get that overload on one side and to take the puck down deep and force those defensemen to have to maybe make the commit, maybe to overcommit in the corners, and you know, and try to get their man in as they have here in front of the net for a screen shot.
Loose puck knocked down the ice by Lucas, killing off this penalty. Minute and a half left to go in the power play for the Titans. And that's carried in by Platek. Platek still has it, looking for somebody to pass to. He loses the puck, taken by Schenkel. Schenkel leave it there for Platek, but he didn't see it, and that goes over the blue line. And the Titans will have to regroup. Pass sent back for Schenkel. Schenkel will carry it over, trying to set up the power play. Minute left to go in the power play. 5 minutes in the game period. Long shot stopped by Sybil. Lucas tries to clear that one out, dump back in, and Hagel was there to knock it out of the zone. Titans carry it back in. Nice poke check there. And a long shot right over the goalie's shoulder. And King can't get it out. That stays in. Finally, Brent Clifford manages to knock it off the ice, or down the ice rather. 30 seconds left to go in the penalty. Puck kept in the center ice area. Titans trying to organize last ditch effort here, but that'll be shot down off over the boards. And with 5:22 left to go in the first period and 11 seconds left to go in the power play for the Regina Mundi Titans, still 0-0 score.
Mike, one thing that happens, of course, if any of the spectators don't know, and they wonder, they probably think it's a two-line pass. We have the same rule as Canadian University or NCAA in the States, and the fact that you can pass right to the far blue line from your own goal line without an offside. In the power play, it's a blessing in disguise, because a lot of teams will try to put a puck way up at the far blue line and make that long pass, which really isn't conducive to a good power play, because they can be picked off by the forecheckers on the penalty killers.
Well, the puck not kept in the Lucas zone. Rob Jonas gets knocked up the center ice now. Taken there by Siegel. He loses it. Samodiev trying to get something going for Lucas. Been all Titans so far in this one. Pass up the center ice. Nice hit there by Theodosopoulos. Get that one right sometime. Shot blocked. Hits the glass. And Theodosopoulos now shoots it along the boards. And that long lead pass for Tarkowski went off his stick and into the corner. Back to pick it up is Bonatti. He's wraparound try there, knocked off the puck. Samodiev trying to gain control, and we'll have a whistle to the left of the Titan goalie. Dak, it could be a important time now for Lucas maybe to jump back into this one, especially after killing off that power play.
Well, it's certainly an upper for the team that can kill a power or a penalty like that, and Tim going with 4 lines, he's going to have some rested players out there. Sometimes that can backfire a little bit, but in his case, he seems to have 4 very balanced lines. It's an enviable situation, and yeah, I think it is. They'll come back.
Theodosopoulos knocks it back in. That'll be. We'll also get a Regina Mundi penalty here, as the cross-checking penalty going to. Let's see who. Number 20, Christian Creel, going to go on for cross-checking at 3:55 left to go in the opening period.
He's got his big line out of Brown, Knoll, and Ralph, and they have produced a good many of the points for Lucas so far in the playoffs. Knoll being their leader.
The Titans win the face-off and dump it down. It's stopped by Sibbald. He'll leave it there for Theodosopoulos. Theodosopoulos, a long pass there for Brown. Carried in, and nice play set up there off the post. It goes back out in front, but it's managed to knock down the ice. Titans survived a small scare there. Sibbald leaves it for Theodosopoulos, and he'll try to hit Brown there. Brown back to Knoll. Knoll takes a shot, goes wide of the mark. Pass back to the point, way wide, higher than the net. Hits the far wall. Now carried up by the Titans. They'll dump it down and kill a few more seconds off the clock. Titans now controlling behind the Lucas net. That's Bogart. 1 minute left to go in the power play for Lucas. Now they'll bring it out. That's Rob Ralph carrying it over the red line. He'll bring it in. Looking for pass it out in front. Gets the shot. Nice save there by Min. And deflected wide of the net. Titans managed to get it over the blue line. Goes back in. Fletcher there. He'll just shoot it long on Sibbald. Oh. Titans almost had an opportunity there, but that play was broken up. Now King behind his own goal, leaves it there. Loses. Siegel loses, or rather Hagel loses it. That goes up to Jonas. Jonas now loses control, and it's taken by Hart. Hart dumps it up along the boards. And it'll go into the Lucas zone. And that's touched by Sibbald. King. Puts it up to Clifford. And stopped there at the blue line. Long lead pass goes into the Titan zone. Dumped into the corners. 1:27 left to go in the first period. No score here at Nichols Arena. Pass out to center ice. Nobody there to pick that one up, because everybody overskates that one. Nobody seems to be able to gain control of the puck in the center ice area. Finally, it's dumped into the Titan zone. A little bit of scuffle going on at center ice. Now the play is carried over the center line. Number 19, Playdeck. A little bit of pushing and shoving there. Finally dumped in, stopped by Theodosopoulos. 45 seconds left to go in the opening period. Puck shot into the Lucas zone. Taken there by Theodosopoulos. His man was knocked off the puck, but the pass was intercepted. And now Siegel's coming in. Siegel's got some room, but that's broken up. And the Titans regain control of that one as Kovac picks it up, falls to the ice in a stoppage of play. 16 seconds left. A lot of hitting going on out there, Dak.
Yeah, it's starting now to become fairly physical. They've got a good-sized ice surface here, and they've got a lot of room to move the puck. And I think once the teams become more comfortable with the situation, it's a very intense game. They're going to start to pass to make things happen, not because they have to. And I think what we've seen here is a case of players coming up and they wait till they're to their check, and then they're trying to force a pass through a defender. And that's always a big problem with any team, especially if they're a little uptight early in a game.
13 seconds left to go. Icing called on the play. Now for Lucas, being a smaller team, a little more agile, they're going to have to rely a little more on speed. And if the Titans are going to keep hitting them and throwing the boundary around, that can work against Lucas. However, at the same time, can't that also work against the Titans?
I think for both teams, they've got to be very careful to stay away from the little shots after the whistle, not to get yacked into taking a penalty by an opponent. Just to concentrate on the goal, and the goal is to win the gold medal in this tournament. Lucas have got 4 lines. It seems that they play them with the one line being the really outstanding one, I think. But the point is that both these teams, having played a lot of hockey, they're probably going to stick to hockey in this last game. A lot of hockey in the tournament, that is.
Puck staying in the Titans zone. A few seconds. That's it for the opening period. No score between Lucas and Regina Mundi. And Dak, it's an interesting period in the fact that the Titans came out strong, but near the end there, Lucas kind of got the engines going anyways, and things started balancing out a little bit.
Very definitely, Mike. The first 4 or 5 minutes was Regina Mundi's. They came very, very close. Pletic and Vigero in particular, Fletcher. Those guys all had very, very good chances to score. And then the turnaround, particularly after Lucas killed that penalty off, they got Noel almost had one early, Brown, Ralph. I think that it's going to be a very interesting game, and the score certainly reflects what we've got out here. 2 very evenly matched teams, 2 teams that now I think certainly Coach Orr and Coach Cheney will spend some time getting their fellas settled down a bit, getting them to read and react a little bit better. I think what's happening now, it's a reflex situation where players are getting the puck and unloading it very quickly, perhaps not taking a good look at the receivers they have open. Also, players, I think, now are going to start to work a little harder to get themselves into the clear. They know they've only got 2 periods left, and well, that's how they make it happen.
Okay, once again, the score after 1 period of play is Regina Mundi Titans 0 and Lucas nothing as well. We'll be right back with the second period after this.
Hi, this is Vance Cameron, your host for Trackside at Western Fair. Trackside at Western Fair is brought to you by the Western Fair and Community 13, each Wednesday and Friday night at 11:30 here on Community 13. Tune in for an exciting half hour of race action as we bring to you the evening's races, plus news and information about the racing scene. Trackside at Western Fair. Watch us here on Community Cable 13.
Welcome back for the second period of the final game in the 6th annual Regina Mundi hockey tournament, high school hockey. Tonight's game is the Regina Mundi Titans, the host team, taking on the Lucas Vikings. It's a scoreless game after 1. Mike Mitchell along here with Dak Thomas. Now, Dak, we saw a pretty good first period. What can we expect in the second?
They're going to crank it up a bit, and as I mentioned just at the start of the first period, or the stop of the finishing of the first period, the teams are going to start to pass to make things happen. I think they're going to see the ice a bit better, settle down, and try and set things up.
Well, the Titans have it behind their own goal. Puck in the corner now, picked up by the Vikings. Goes back to the point, a long shot just wide of the net. That's finally knocked to center ice to be picked up by Pletek. Pletek chasing these, falls down. Pass now. Back up to center ice. Here come the Vikings. They'll bring it over. Nice defensive play there by Murphy. Kept in now. Long pass out front, goes to nobody, and ends up going down the ice. And it's taken there by King. King played a strong first period on defense for Vikings. It goes back down where John Min comes way out of the net to stop that one.
This, Mike, is very much an endurance contest. I believe this is their 7th game. And, you know, having been fortunate enough to have won this in 1990, I can tell you that with 19 hockey players on a team, using all 19, using all the lines appropriately, you're going to last. But it certainly is an endurance contest.
The play gets out of the way to middle ice. Titans trying to get something going here on offense. That's taken by 21, Fletcher, captain of the Titan team. Goes back to Fletcher now after bouncing off some players' skates. And goes into the center ice. It's almost picked off there by Titan player. Now it goes into the Titan end. And Brad Hart's back to clear it around the boards. Kept in, however, finally it goes over. And offside's going to be called.
Still have a bit of water on the ice. And I think that's something defensemen always have to be very careful about because the places it pools most is in behind the nets. It's a little disconcerting to be looking down ice to make that pass and find out you haven't got the puck on your stick.
Face off one into the Titan zone, finally taken out there by the Titans. Goes back in the Titan zone, however, that'll be picked up by Paul Murphy. Murphy now looking for somebody past it. He'll take it himself up center. He'll hit Bogart with a long shot, steered wide by Sybil. Titans still control. Looking to pass off to number 4, Murphy. Murphy will take a long shot, and that goes wide. Another opportunity there, and the Vikings take control of the puck, and they'll bring it down the ice. Dump it into the corner now where Min watches that one. Now, long pass picked up by number 15. He goes in alone. It's a nice move there. Beautiful save by Martin Sybil on that Titan player. That's it. We don't have a number for, we don't have a name for number 15 on the program or on our sheets. I have to apologize to the unknown player, but he had a beautiful opportunity there as he came in all alone, but a big save by Martin Sybil to keep it a scoreless game. Puck back out to the point. Dumped now into the corner. Picked up there by Schenkel. Goes around the boards, feet out front. Another opportunity goes off the side of the net. And Sybil will pick that one up and hold it.
On that last play, Mike, number 15 for RMC slipped up and used that long neutral zone pass, which we allow in our hockey, and same as NCAA. Lucas, which do a great job of not having a big gap between their D and their forwards, all got back in to defend, we're on the offense as a unit.
An opportunity now for the Vikings. It's coming alone. He's beautiful save there. However, it's going to be a goal, and that was knocked off its moorings, and that's going to stand. Well, they're going to have a conference on this one, but at this moment, Brad Hart has a goal to put the Vikings up on top. However, there's still a conference out on this one to find out if that actually was a goal. No goal. They're waving that one off because the net was knocked off the moorings. And the Titan fans like this one, Dag, but the Viking fans are a little upset about this one.
That's a tough call, and it's one of those situations where certainly if it's a Regina Mundi player who backs into the goaltender and forces the net off the moorings when the puck is in the process of entering the net, then of course the play will stand. But in this case, I guess they felt it was a tough call. They weren't sure whether it was a Lucas player or Regina Mundi was at fault, and obviously it's better, I suppose, to err on the side of not making the goal stand. Although it's tough.
Well, from this angle, it looked like the initial save was stopped by Min, and then the defenseman coming in to stop it, and the extra attackers kind of pushed Min and the net off the moorings and over through the crease. So that could have been a very good call by the referee.
It's almost like a tandem buck in football. They can't not allow that extra incentive.
Well, the referee over at the Vikings bench, he's explaining what happened to their coach. And we're going to have a face-off to the left of John Min, who has to be breathing a sigh of relief on that one.
It's a tight game, and it's a championship game, and I think you want to make absolutely certain that the right call is made, especially on the...
Long pass from the point, got into the corner there, chased after by Hart. They'll finally clear it out, and that'll go down the ice. Icing waved off by the linesman. Picked up there by Scott King. King now trying to get out of their own zone. Finally get up center ice. And it's tapped in there by Fletcher. Long pass off the skate. Brown now going back into the Viking zone there. That's broken up, and the Vikings come the other way. Nice move there on the defenseman. However, good defensive play by Robertson, but he's going off for tripping, and the Vikings are going to have a chance to get a legitimate goal. Dag?
Yeah, number 2, Robertson had the hook on Brown, and I think any time you use a stick infraction or restraining, it's a restraining penalty, and those are good calls because it certainly negates the pure skills of hockey, and I'm glad to see more of them called. Certainly, it's unfortunate for the team that's received the penalty. One thing that both clubs have been a little bit weak on right now is using the drop man. That is the high man in the triangle. They go with a 2-man forechecking system, and certainly that's effective, or a 2-1-2. But they've got to be aware of leaving that high man to act as a safety valve for any defenseman pinching down. And that's what happened on the one RMC breakaway.
Pass broken up there by Bogart. Goes back in behind, into the corner there, and finally kept in by the Vikings. Point shot taken, saved there by Min. He'll hang on for the whistle. And the Titans having a bit of a problem clearing their own zone on this one.
Yeah, they were very fortunate. The Titan defense, if anything, was guilty. The off-puck defensemen of not covering the far post, and that's one area you can't ask your goaltender to cover. He's got to have his backside off the far post and be picking up the man in the slot. In that case, Noel was standing right there, and if there's anybody you don't want off the wide side, that's Noel, because he's going to cash it in if he gets a loose puck.
Well, Murphy finally gets it out to center ice. Controlled there by King. Vikings trying to get it in. Broken up there on the blue line, and that'll be shot down the ice by Schenkel. Vikings trying to regroup on this power play. Just over a minute left to go on the power play. Self and a late hit there. Some scuffling along the boards, but nothing is going to become of that one as the linesmen step in. That's play tech for Regina Mundi.
Well, Platic and Noel, the two gunners, one for Regina Mundi and the other one for Lucas, exchanging courtesies there, and I think they never intended it to go much further than that, just to let them know that, hey, I know you're there and you know I'm here, and we got a tough game on the go. Certainly neither one of them is going to take themselves out of the play. In that case, and I think it's a very good rule, are coincidental minors, so it doesn't keep another player who perhaps would play that position on the next line up sitting on the bench cooling his heels because of an infraction made by a teammate. This way you can put all 5 guys out, and the guy who committed the infraction just sits there for 2 minutes. And also it's nice for your extra forwards because you've got to pull one of them up to take his spot next time out.
Well, Vikings keep the puck in the Titan zone. Vaguero falls on it, and we get a stoppage of play. I think it's also, important for the referees to keep some kind of control of the game. I don't know if you saw the game before this one, the bronze medal game, where in the second period there were a lot of behind the play infractions, and things got out of control.
Yeah, I think it's obviously it's the old story. It has to be established early in the game. Now, in the case of this game, it was an extremely fast played first period. And it hasn't really been a dirty game at all. You know, the guys, some good hits and whatnot. So this is going to be an easy game to referee for those guys. It's the kind they love.
Jonas dumps it off to Clifford. Long shot from the point, blocked by McKenzie. McKenzie thought he had Vaguero with him, but he lost the puck there. Brought back into the Titan zone. knocked into the corner. That'll be picked up by number 19. Rob Jonas. He goes back to the point. A long shot blocked. Nice defensive play. Nice save there by John Min. The defenseman fell down and let that shot go. McKenzie just slaps it down into the Viking zone. Vikings will bring it up yet again. Puck gone in the corner, chased in there by Hart. He loses it to Clifford. Clifford skating around behind the Titans goal, looking to pass it out. Still looking for somebody to pass it to. Feeds it out in front. Pass there. That's stopped by the defenseman. Heads up play there. Now it's taken up by the Titans into the Viking zone. Picked up there down the corner. That player's knocked down. A lot of bodies being thrown around behind the Vikings net. Now it goes out to center ice. Pass picked up. Brought in. Schenkel wrote his man off. That shot goes wide of the net. Back to the point now. Puck kept in the Titan zone by the Vikings. A lot of pressure. Min gloves that one down out of nowhere, and he'll hang on for a stoppage of play.
Mike, that was another example down here on the power play where Hart, the RMC defenseman, was guilty of letting Turkowski from Lucas get in behind him. And, you know, it's you just can't react fast enough. The puck goes through, it's going to be in the net. And the goaltenders, obviously the best type of defense is when another team only has one option, and that's one option by the shooter. But if he's got 4 or 5 options, that goaltender is going to be very vulnerable. Another thing that tends to happen, I think, is our cross-ice passes just inside the blue line instead of taking the puck deep. And all of us in high school hockey or any hockey, I think where there's a breakdown is that they want to be able to take that puck deep into the zone, turn the defenseman so that they've lost visual contact with the slot, and try to set something up so they can get that the flow going and get guys to overreact, killing off the penalty. But these teams are playing extremely well, and it's definitely a very entertaining game.
Puck kept in the Titan zone, controlled by McLeod. He tries to knock it out of his own. Back to a point. Long shot stopped by Min. He steers it in the corner. McLeod trying to bang it out. Now goes back to the point. Another long shot wide of the net. And that'll be picked up by Veguero. And he'll dump it up the center ice. Long shot taken wide of the net. Kept in there by Bogart. Now being chased. Veguero's got it. We have an injured player on the ice. That's Alwyn Wong's down in the heap. Popped right back up.
No one will stay down long in this game. I think if they've got any breath in them at all, Mike, they'll be back up. It looks as though we've got a Lucas penalty, a high sticking call being made. I would assume we play CHA rules, and for something like that, they're not going to fire a guy out for 5 minutes. It looked like definitely an accidental high stick. It'll be a 2-minute infraction. One advantage of having the face masks in the NHL, where you get a clip like that and the guy's open for something that doesn't look like straight skin, they'll put them off. They're out for the rest of the game. And in this case, of course, we're saved by the mask. So there's a blow in favor of the masks. And also something to protect the player.
Well, Samodiuk's gone for 2 for high sticking, and that'll put Regina Mundi on the power play with 8 minutes left to go in the middle period. No score as of yet. Mike Mitchell along here with Dak Thomas at Nichols Arena for the final of the Regina Mundi 6th annual hockey tournament on Cable 13. Puck taken out now by Ryan Kovac. They lose it at center ice now. Picked up by Robertson. Robertson hit hard on the boards by Siegel. Puck goes back out, and it's chopped out to center ice now. Titans going back to regroup. That's Hart. He tries a long pass, and that gets intercepted, and whoever stays in the zone, and that's finally clear. So Titans will have to regroup on this power play. Long pass up center ice. Misses his mark, goes from the corner. Chased in there by McKenzie. He set it out in front. shot there taken. That's stopped by Sybil. Another shot blocked by the defender's stick. Goes into the corner. Taken there by Goodwin. Weak shot from the point. And they'll dive on the puck and on the goalie and everybody else, and we have some rough stuff going on there.
There was a case, Mike, where the RMC team had both points open. And I think what happens, it happens quite often, players get a lot of heat on around the net, and they get blinkers on. They don't realize that there's a lot of depth, particularly in this rink, between the goal line and the blue line. And when you come into a rink with these dimensions, you've got to use your point men on the power play, because quite often, particularly when you're a man advantage, it's very difficult to form a box that's going to adequately protect the full depth of your zone. And in this case, with a D sitting right back by the blue line, it opens it up. And if you've got all those guys pressing down on the net, gosh, that leaves it wide open for a great screen shot. Incidentally, the Lucas penalty, Brad Samodiuk is the son of Darwin Samodiuk, the famous football coach and Dean of Athletics at University of Western Ontario.
Looks like Lucas is getting another 2-minute call. With 50 seconds left in the first penalty to Samodiuk. I believe Jeff Goodwin's gone off for Lucas. So that'll put a 5-on-3 situation for the Titans. And this is where Martin Sybil will have to rise to the occasion. Puck now behind the Lucas goal. They take a whack at it, goes out to center ice. Titans now back to regroup. Jamie McLeod will send it up. And that's sent back out to the center ice by the Vikings. And it's hit there by McLeod on his man. Back up to center ice now, number 19, Playtech. He loses control of it, and that goes all the way back into the Titan zone. We'll have to regroup. 17 seconds left in the first penalty as the Titans dump it into the corner. They'll set up on the power play. Puck controlled in the corner. Point man open back to Paul Murphy. He takes a shot wide of the net. Goes back to the point. First penalty's over. Long shot by McLeod. That's stopped by Sybil. And they'll fire it down the ice. 5:46 left to go in the second period. 54 seconds in the penalty. And that's carried in by Schenkel. Schenkel now tries to feed up in front. That's stopped and sent down the ice. Vikings doing an excellent job killing off this penalty. 37 seconds left. And the penalty to Jeff Goodwin. Puck taken up now by Playtech. He carries it over. Nice move there. Playtech in alone. He scores. Mike Playtech goes in alone, steers around the defenders, and puts her home.
Playtech, beautiful move. He did the old inside-outside move on the point and carried on in. Actually used his left winger as a decoy. That boy's got surgical hands, if he considers surgery as a future life skill. Well, you know, in a game that's been pretty much team play all the way by both clubs, it's amazing how one player will jump out and finally create the opportunity in the opening. And quite often it is your blue chipper, and he's definitely been a blue chipper for RMC all year. In that case, they had two players caught forechecking one RMC player, and it left it open for Jeff to go in and make that move.
1-0's the score here at Nichols. Here come the Titans again. Shot wide over the net and hit the far wall. J.P. McKenzie in there.
That's a big goal, Mike, in a game that is, well, you know, we're about halfway, 3/4 of the way through the second period, and we're into a situation where in a tie, scoreless hockey game that both clubs have had a lot of opportunities, but both goaltenders have played extremely well.
Offside's been called here. Now, you have to give credit to the Viking defense, because they had to kill off first the 5-on-3 and then the 5-on-4. So it was a situation there where you would have seen it coming before, like during the 5-on-3 situation. So they got pretty close, but that was a beautiful goal by Platic, and scores stands at 1-0. Regina Mundi controlling it deep in their zone, goes up now over the into the Viking zone. Right along the boards, goes out to LeBlanc. LeBlanc takes a long shot. He scores! Corey LeBlanc takes a weak shot, and I believe that Martin Sybil might have been screened on that one.
Yeah, that's a case of trying to get players to shoot as often as they can. That any time, in that case, his teammates had taken the play deep. He got the puck up high just inside the blue line and let it go, and you know, anything can happen. You've got players in front of him. I'm sure Seibold was screened on that. It's a tough blow for Lucas, you know, having to come back from killing off those penalties and doing a pretty effective job. But gosh, there's a lot of hockey left yet.
Score is now 2-0 with 4:41 left to go in the second period. The Titans on top of the Lucas Vikings. Now the Vikings carried in the Titans zone. His player falls down. That was Tim Wilby. Wilby regains control, takes a weak shot, steered aside by John Min. Still controlled by the Vikings. Steered out in front, but picked off by McLeod, and he sends it up the ice. He is trying to hit Rob Schenkel. Schenkel now overskates the puck. Battling along the boards, now goes back out to the point to number 9, McLeod. He sends it over. Long shot taken there. That stopped. Another shot gone wide of the net. And into the corner. We have a Viking player down. I believe that's Cam Hagel. And he's holding his knee, and that's not a good sign for the Vikings coach.
I don't know what happened there, Mike. Situation actually is it's holding his stomach area. There might be an indication there, perhaps a shot with a stick. You always hope not, but who knows? We'll see what the call is.
Well, the Lucas Vikings are going to have the opportunity to get back into this game as penalties called on the Titans, and that'll, with 3:57 left to go in the second period, 2-minute power play for the Vikings. They had a couple chances early, but that one goal that was taken away from them might have deflated the sails a little bit. So this is, I guess, about as good a time as any as they can to get back into this hockey game.
I'm sure Coach Tim Orr will tell us, fellas, we have got a lot of time, that we just have to have some patience now. Particularly the younger your team, the more they feel that they've got to grab it back all at once. But just keep working, pecking away, and I'm sure that, you know, look for these seams, look for the opportunities. I think basically what has to happen, because RMC is the older, mature team, that Lucas are going to have to create their own breaks. They're going to have to play very well away from the puck to force RMC to make mistakes.
The Vikings finally get on their own zone, but Titans steal the puck. Now that's going to be carried in by puck control there, gone back to the point. Long shot taken, deflected over the glass. We'll have a stoppage of play as Jeff Goodwin's shot goes over the glass.
It's interesting how in a space of 3 or 4 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes, and it often happens after killing off of penalties, that the momentum will shift, because all of a sudden, instead of forcing the play, creating opportunities with pressure, you're sitting back a bit because you're trying to defend your own zone against a power play, and quite often it will change the momentum around, and that was the case here in this game, with RMC taking advantage of it quite effectively.
Paul Murphy sends it the length of the ice, and that's taken by Goodwin. He's trying to get it out of his zone. King. Vikings trying to set up the power play. Long pass. We're going to have a penalty called here to Regina Mundi. Pass just out of the reach of Mike Brown, but however, since John Min touched it, the whistle's blown, and Another Regina Mundi player, number 44, Seth Bogart, will be going off.
He got a cross-checking penalty, and these are the sort of things that I know Coach Mike Cheney will not be very happy with, because when you have a 2-0 lead, you've got to play it cool, you've got to watch for your opportunities, but basically you've got to seal up the weak areas, seal up your zone, and make sure you're not going to leave anything hanging around to be tipped into your net. Well-played game, but
Vikings keep it in. Goes behind Titan goal. Dwyer will send it up the boards to King. King will leave it back there for Dwyer now. Dwyer skates behind the Titan goal. Knocks it off to Clifford. Clifford sends it back to the point. Long shot there, stopped by Min. And that's gone back into the corner there for Dwyer. Dwyer back to King. King across ice pass. Long shot taken wide of the net. Another chance there. Scramble for the puck. Everybody's scrambling there, but it's stuck along the side of the goal. Finally, the whistle's blown. Rob Jonas kept trying to take whacks at it. Couldn't get his stick to hit it.
Mike, Min has played extremely well in the RMC net. I've been very impressed with the way he's covered his rebounds, and he's stood up and played his angles very, very well. He might well be the coolest guy out there on the ice tonight. It's, again, with this deep zone, Lucas have done a good job with using their points. They've got it back there. They play basically a 3-2 type forechecking system on the power play, where they're trying to put 2 men on the puck, so whichever side of the net it goes to, they get 2 guys over there, but they keep 1 man. Basically, the man in the center is the jammer. And in a zone like this, it lends itself to it. I'm not so sure on a smaller ice surface whether I would play that type of system, but it's certainly very effective here.
Well, 2:22 left to go in the second period. 2-0. The Regina Mundi Titans on top of the Lucas Vikings. 25 seconds left to go in the Viking power play. Mike Mitchell along here with Dak Thomas, Nichols Arena, at the 6th annual Regina Mundi Hockey Tournament on Cable 13. Paul McCombs along as our statistician for the evening's event. And as you were saying, John Min's playing a very good game in net, and we won't mention the S word because that's a jinx for most goalies when they so we'll keep that one out of the picture for now. But shot from the point goes over the glass, and we have another stoppage of play.
Both teams have done an excellent job in having their defense and forwards. All 5 guys are working in unison. I haven't seen many situations where there have been big gaps between the defense and the forwards, and that's usually a sign of teams that are playing very cohesively.
Vikings carrying it back in. Beautiful glove hand save by John Min as he robs Ryan Noel from a point-blank shot at the top of the face-off circle, and we'll have another stoppage of play.
The way Mim's playing, Mike, the only thing that's going to go by him tonight is a tip or a screen, and they're going to have to get in and jam and tip and screen, otherwise it's not going to go by him.
Ralph carrying it behind the glass, back to the point. He'll can't make up his mind. Now they'll shoot. Long shot taken there. Another shot. Everybody's sprawled out on top to finally get it in. And I believe that
was Noel. Noel's persistence. Again, there was a situation, Mike, I alluded to earlier, where the puck appeared to be trapped. Mim couldn't see it. He'd made the save. It came loose, and Noel was at the side of the net, but he wasn't covered. And they've gotten away with it before, but this time he was able to stand there and pop that one in. So it's made a very good close game of it.
Well, the defenseman responsibility is to clear the net of any traffic and anybody might be around it who could take a rebound, and a bit of a lapse there on the defense part, but you can't blame it on the goaltender when he's sprawled on his back. So
no, Min had made the first and the second save, and that's all you can ask a goaltender to do. The rest is for your D.
Well, it's 2-1 hockey game now. The Vikings have gotten back into this one. They still have 55 seconds left to go on the second penalty taken by the Titans. They carry it back in the Titans zone into their goal now. That's Theodosopoulos. And knocked out, chased by Paul Vaguero. He had Schenkel on the other side. Schenkel overskated that one. Back out in front now. That's stopped. The Vikings carry it over. Nice defensive play there to ride his man off. Platic goes back, and now we have an injured player, an injured Regina Mundi player down. And he's grabbing his knee, and that is a coach's plus a player's nightmare.
Oh, it is, and it looks like he's in quite a bit of pain. I didn't see exactly what happened. Obviously, he jammed his knee against the boards. We'll hope he's okay. Mike, one thing that I've seen here several times, because of the overeagerness of players, particularly defensemen, sort of a la Paul Coffey type of thing, to join the rush and get in there and create a lot of extra offense with pressure, is that on several occasions the puck side or the board side defenseman has pressed down, and there hasn't been a high man to rotate in behind him. And generally speaking, the responsibility is of the defenseman, because he's sitting back there and he has full range of where his players are on the ice. And generally speaking, my orders to my own team are that if you cannot see if you haven't got a high man to rotate in, you can't pinch down unless you've got at least an 80% chance of getting that puck and moving it deep into the zone, because it's a very, very dangerous play. And as a matter of fact, when Platic got that breakaway, or one player, sorry, not Platic, but one of the players earlier got a break and took off down the ice, that's exactly what happened. We had a player pinch down, and the guy didn't rotate behind.
Well, both teams are being sent to their dressing rooms while they're taking care of the injured players, so I imagine they're just going to, I guess they're just going to tack the time left in the second period on into the third period.
It appears to be, Mike. It's unfortunate. You know, here are the two teams that have made it right through to the final game, and just listening to that announcement, it appears to be fairly, hopefully not a serious injury, but one never knows, and you can't take any chances on these things.
Well, at 1:40 or 1:16 left to go in this period, which looks like it's going to be tacked on to the third period due to the injury on the ice. Score stands 2-1, Regina Mundi over the Lucas Vikings. I'm Mike Mitchell, along here with Dak Thomas. We'll be right back with more of the finals in the Regina Mundi hockey tournament right after this.
Hi, this is Vance Cameron, your host for Trackside at Western Fair. Trackside at Western Fair is brought to you by the Western Fair and Community 13, each Wednesday and Friday night at 11:30 here on Community 13. Tune in for an exciting half hour of race action as we bring to you the evening's races, plus news and information about the racing scene. Trackside at Western Fair. Watch us here on Community Cable 13.
Until recently, arthritis was a life sentence. Because of the Arthritis Society, more Canadians are escaping the pain every day. I'm Maureen Forrester. Please give to give hope.
Okay, welcome back. Play back underway here at the 6th annual Regina Mundi tournament. We had an early third period because of the injury that was suffered by one of the Regina Mundi players. So we're going to run out the second period and start right off with the third. So play back underway now. The Vikings take it out of their own zone. That's dumped back in. Offside is going to be called as one of the Titan players is down. That's waved off. Vikings carry it over into the Titan zone. Long shot off the post there. Min didn't see that one coming. Vikings still have control. They bring it in. A nice stop there by Murphy. And the Titans clear it out. A long lead pass there for McKenzie, but he gets knocked off the puck. And Sybil will just steer that off into the corner. Taken up by the Vikings. That's just going to be dumped in. 16 seconds left on the clock of this sub-period, if you want to call it that, as the whistle's blown. Now, Dak, you would have thought that maybe they would have just tacked on that extra time and just started a third period, but it looks like they elected just to run off the clock on what was left of the second.
Well, that would seem logical, but I guess they like to go in 15-minute segments and keep it clean. I don't know, but they'll just change ends here in a few seconds.
Puck not got out by the Titans. It's kept in by the Vikings. Back to the point. A weak shot there. That's steered off into the corner. And what was left of the second period is over, but we're just going to have a quick change of ends and things will get right back underway in just a few moments. Now, what's a break like this going to do for these teams? Where it's kind of unexpected. It was, the Titans lost one of their players to that injury, and it's kind of a momentum interrupter, if anything.
A couple of fans were just asking me my opinion on that, and I think that, these fellas have played so much hockey in the last 2 days that it's a chance perhaps to sit back, relax a little bit, and reflect on maybe the course of the game. Certainly, it's a tight enough game that it's not a problem. For RMC, they're saying, look, let's keep it going. For Lucas, let's get this game tied up and try to get on with it. But certainly these teams have come out flying in the start of the end of the second period, start of the third. And what I'm seeing now is a situation where both hockey clubs are using the width of the ice a lot better. They're playing to open spaces and trying to create opportunities. I didn't see as much of that in the first two periods. It was a bit scrappy, and now I think the teams are going to be looking for that quick break.
Well, it scores 2-1 Regina Mundi over the Lucas Vikings here at the very beginning of the third period. And the Titans are able to keep it in, but now the Vikings almost brought it out. Now puck's flying around the center ice area now. Now the Vikings gain some semblance of control as Brad Dwyer takes it into the Titan zone. Picked up there in the corner by Clifford. They try to set it back out to center ice. That's taken there by Theodosopoulos. Titans now. Weak shot into the corner. Just dumping in as they change now on the fly. And puck comes out of the Viking zone, taken by Clifford. Clifford still has it. He'll just dump it in there, but that stopped at the blue line. Puck now handled by Samodiuk. Samodiuk, he goes after the puck, but that's knocked back to the center ice where that's picked up by McKenzie, and a long shot just goes wide of the net. King steering it back around the boards. Now that's finally taken out. A long pass to Samodiuk goes off it. the stick. That'll be taken now by King. King up, loses the puck. A shot taken there, stopped by King. Goes back into the Viking zone. 13:26 left to go in the third period. 2-1, Titans on top of the Vikings. Now Samodik, he loses the puck to Kovac. That goes back into the center ice zone. Now McKenzie, he'll just take a long shot in on, or rather Hagel takes a long shot in on John Bin, and we have a stoppage of play.
Mike, what I see now are the defensemen are doing a much better job of joining the rush, and we're not getting big gaps between the defense and the forwards, which is certainly from the point of view of a team on attack. They're exerting a lot more pressure, and defensively, they're back eliminating a lot of the options of the shooters. So it's going to make for a great third period if they can keep up this intensity.
Theodosopoulos knocks it back into the Titan zone. That's kept in there. Now it's taken out. 2-on-2 rush by Titans, a long shot. That's steered off by Sibbald into the corner, taken there and knocked up along the boards for Robertson. Titans keep it in though. Doing a good job of pass the puck. Sibbald had to be quick on that one. Now that's back out to the point. A weak flubber shot blocked there by Theodosopoulos. Now he'll just carry it out of his own zone. He's checked by Kovac. Puck in behind the Titans net, and that'll be stopped for another face-off to the left of the goaltender.
Mike, I've been very impressed with RMC's Mike, or Jeff Pletic, has done a great job both ways. He's not just one of these gunners who sits up high and picks the cherries and goes down there and tries to pop a few. He's come back very hard into his own zone, back checked, been a good two-way hockey player.
Face off now back to the point. Shot taken by Goodwin, wide of the net. That'll be taken by Bogart, and he'll get up to the point, but not out. Kept in by the Vikings. Puck picked up by a nice pass out in front there, but John Min came up big on that stop. Now the Titans bring it the other way. Long shot wide of the net. Held in there, but steered out by Goodwin. Titans gain control, back out in front. Sloppy puck handling there, but they get it out. Now it's a 2-on-1. Taken out by Brown. Brown dumps it off. A nice pass back to Brown, but he's tied up by a defender, and that pass went off his stick. Back out to the point to King. King a long shot. That's deflected off the defenseman. Viking putting a little pressure now here with 11 minutes left to go in the third. Now that's cleared back into the center ice zone for King. He'll knock it back in. And a long shot stopped by King, but however they'll have to wait for that player to get back on side. King now controlling the puck in his own zone, dumps it off to Clifford. Clifford falls down. Long shot taken there, but wide of the mark. Still kept in by Lucas. Chased in there by Jonas. He gets it back. That finally goes over the blue line down to the Viking blue line. Handled there by Theodosopoulos. Offside going to be called here though, as the Titans brought it in before they cleared the zone.
Nice opportunity there by Ralph of Lucas on a great pass by Noel across to the far side. Again, that off puck post of RMC was sitting open, and you know, I think that we're seeing quite a little bit of a change in the momentum. Lucas seems to, even though they bobbled the puck a little bit in their own end, they seem to be turning the tide a bit.
Platic won that face-off, sends it into the Viking zone. They're all tied up along the board. A heavy check there on Cam Hagel, and a stoppage of play to the left of Martin Sibbald, the Viking goaltender.
However, number 19, Platic, you know, that guy's a game breaker. He scored that one nice goal earlier, but he's got the capability of anytime he gets an opportunity, he can put that puck in the net so easily.
Fletcher put that one out. Now another whack at it. That goes through the crease. And Sybil's diving for it. However, there's a Titan player who is down in the crease. That's Mike Platic, the man we've been talking about. And he was holding his, might have gotten a cut somehow inside that cage.
He was eased to the ice. That's one thing you want your defenseman to do. You can't let a top goal scorer stand around in a crease. And I don't care who it is. You move him out of there, and you take 2 minutes for it, well, so be it. But if you let players stand in the crease, of course, they're going to pop goals all night. Of course, they shouldn't be allowed if they're in the crease, but a lot of times they're going to be missed.
Clifford won that face-off, back into the Viking zone. Hagel now trying to clear it out. He hits Jonas with a pass. Jonas carrying in. He's trying to feed it up to Clifford. Jonas now centering the puck. Min dives way out of his net for that one. And again, a little bit of skirmishing going in around the crease as another Titan player is down on the ice. And see who that one is.
Been some good hits out here tonight, Mike. I think there have been a few good Hollywood versions too of the swan dive, or we used to call them the old Bill Barber moves. I think they've been Don Cherry style, maybe watching the Swedes play hockey too much in international competition. The World Junior, boy, those guys should have got Oscars for some of the dives we saw out there.
Well, if you're just joining us now, 2-1's the score. Midway through the third period, Regina Mundi Titans over the Lucas Vikings, 2-1. Mike Mitchell here along with Dak Thomas in the broadcast booth, Cable 13. Vikings putting a lot of pressure on the Titans now, trying to tie this one up. A shot on Min. He stops that one into the corners. Battling along the boards, finally goes out to center ice. Picked up there by the Titans, a long shot. That goes over the glass, into the rafters, and back on the ice.
There's a situation where a defenseman was right in the RMC player's base, and he elected to take the slap shot. The Lucas player did the right thing and tipped it up, tipped it away. There's another case of anytime a player is inside the top of the face-off circles, the element of surprise is the best thing, and getting away that quick snapshot or wrist shot is far more effective in that situation, particularly where there's no gap.
Puck goes back to the corner, over the blue line now. Carried out by Sarkowski. He's carrying in, feeding Samodiak. Samodiak's knocked down. Now Tarkowski gives his man a little belt behind the net. And he goes back out to center ice for Hagel. Hagel trying to dump it in. He does, but misses Tarkowski with the pass. Tarkowski in there checking for the Vikings. Trying to get an equalizer here. Possibly send it to overtime. Puck goes back behind the Vikings net. And we'll have a whistle here with 9:11 left to go in the final period. Or perhaps the final period of the finals for the Regina Mundi 6th annual hockey tournament here at Nichols Arena.
Often, Mike, if stats could be taken, and it's been proven that teams that complete the most number of passes successfully often win the hockey game. And you know, it's a case here where a lot of players are trying to make the long pass, trying to make the big Hail Mary pass to break somebody loose. And it works occasionally, but I think what they have to do is get control and make those good, quick, short passes like that and try and set things up.
That shot there by Platic goes off the leg and back out to center ice. Now trickles into the Viking zone. That'll be steered off by Sibbald. Platic there to send it behind the goal. Kept in. Taken by Goodwood. He's bumped off the puck. Titans still control it. They come in looking for somebody to pass to, but he's tied up behind the net. Now a weak shot there. Just goes wide through the crease. Now Theodosopoulos will take it out. He escaped behind Titan zone goal. Carries it out now, looking for somebody. Pass up, tries to get it up to Wilby, but he overskated that one, and it goes back into the Viking zone. Picked up by Jeff Goodwin. Goodwin now, both teams changing on the go. They'll send it up, trying to hit Noel. Now Noel will take a shot, just dump it in, stays behind the Titan goal. In there for checking is Rob Ralph. Puck stays in there, back to Ralph. Or to Brown, rather. Brown gets out to Ralph. Trying to feed out in front. Looking out to the point, a long shot. Nobody knows where that one went, but it went up to the corner. Now it's dumped down the ice, and we'll have a stoppage of play. And that'll be brought just outside the blue line of the Titan zone.
Mike, I really like this fella, Scott King, number 4 for Lucas, defenseman. He's a rugged kid. He sometimes takes a few too many chances in his own end, but he's got a lot of ability, good hands, and good size. Boy, he can make things happen. He's also delivered some great checks tonight.
John Mann covers up on that one as it was dumped into the Titan zone. We'll have a whistle to the left, or to the right rather, of the Titan goaltender. 7:34 left to go in the third period. Mike Mitchell along here with Dak Thomas. Shot deflected back out to the point, taken over by Regina Mundi. They break out now. They'll just dump it in and chase after it. Goes around the board. A solid hit there, taken, kept in, however. And Wong will go after it. He'll just stuff it behind the net there for robbed there by number 21, Ryan Noel. That goes along the sideboards. Back out to center ice. He'll dump it in. And Sybil will hang on to that one for a face-off, as that was offside.
It's interesting how the two leaders, Pletic and Noel, have taken over the leadership in both ends, because certainly in mentioning Pletic's job at getting it as a good two-way player, going back and helping to control the puck in the corners, Noel has done that very effectively as well, and it's a system a lot of coaches like to use to bring that centerman back in to control the puck side with their defense, so they're not outnumbered in a high liability area, your own zone, and make sure that the man with the best hand, your centerman, can get back and help your defenseman. In this case, both Noel and Pletic have done that.
Puck behind the net, fed out in front. However, Rob John couldn't get his stick on that one, and play is called as the net's knocked off its moorings.
One of the problems, of course, of the magnet, but for everybody it saves, without going into a solid fixture, it's certainly worth it to have a few stoppages in play.
Play to the face off to the right of John Min. Regina Mundi trying to clear it. That Hagel will keep it at the point. Now it finally goes out. Tripped up Platic though. And we'll have a stoppage of play here. Some pushing and shoving going on right outside the blue line there between Robertson and I believe it's Hagel. Hagel having a few words for Robertson.
This is the time that coaches of both Mike Cheney and Tim Worrell have to say to their guys, look, we've got a championship on the line here. Just keep it inside yourself and make sure that you know, all the playing that's done is done to the whistle, and after the whistle's over, get out of there and get back to the game of hockey. Concentrate on moving the puck and trying to make things happen out there. One thing that's impressed me very much about both clubs, I haven't seen any team that's really been a spectator in this game, and quite often you see that, where one team will sit back and spectate a while and the other one gets advantage, but both of them have taken it every opportunity they have, and it's made a great game.
King's shot dumped around the boards, taken up there by Kovac. He'll send it behind. Tries to get out front. Dangerous pass there, but it's stopped and kept in the Titan zone. Backhand shot there, stopped by the defender. Still kept in there by Samodiuk. He'll leave it behind there for Tarkowski. However, that gets back to the point, and King will keep it in. Simoniuk battling on the boards. He'll get it now. Pass it back to King. King will take the shot. Flat stop. King still has it. He'll dump it off into the corner. Simoniuk chases it in. Tied up along the boards by Murphy, and we'll have a stoppage of play.
Mike, one thing that we try to stress to defensemen is you've got the fence, you've got the boards to use as really your sixth man coming out of your own zone. Use it, because very often that puck will deflect off somebody and won't go as an icing call. But as soon as you gain that blue line, you've released all the pressure, and particularly with these deep zones. In that case, Murphy from RMC tried to maneuver the puck back into the center area, and boy, that's a terrible area to throw the puck, and it almost cost them.
Play back in the way now. Vikings still controlling the puck in the Titan zone. Long shot there, steered aside by Min. Still battling along the boards. Finally, the puck gets knocked loose. Kept in by Theodosopoulos. And both teams battle along the board, trying to gain control, and we'll have another stoppage of play. Pushing and shoving going on down there.
You see a lot more players now willing to go down and block shots, and I think I've counted 8 of them so far this game, Mike, that you didn't used to see as often in the old days before players had face masks. And now with better coverage with throat protectors, etc., there are certain ways of blocking a shot effectively, of course. It is an effective move, provided it's done and timed. It has to be choreographed perfectly, of course, or the player's out of position.
It goes back to the point for Hagel. Hagel just keeps it in. Now it's dumped. Now it's over into the zone, and they'll have to clear out. Titans now organize their attack. Long pass up along the boards. That'll just be dumped in. Puck goes out in front. That's picked up there by a falling Noel and sent down the length of the ice, and that'll be icing. Now, Dak, the result of this tournament, how important is that going to be for these teams when they go back next week into the regular schedules?
I think it's a tremendous confidence booster. I can, reflecting back when we won it, we being Westminster Wildcats won it in 1990. You know that you've come into a tournament that's got, in this case, 32 teams. I think back then we had about 28 teams. And there are a lot of good teams from the province. It makes quite a difference, I think, to the confidence of each player on the team.
Well, Hagel dumped it on the center ice zone, picked up there by Ralph, but he loses it now. Titans come back the other way. That's broken up at center ice. Both teams trying to get something going here. Long lead pass for Brown was broken up and goes back to center ice. Puck dumped back into the Titan zone. Carried out over the center ice, just dumped in now. And Sybil's out of the net trying to play that puck. Goes back out to the point, but nobody was there to pick up that pass by Aguero. And it goes the length of the ice. We'll have another icing.
Well, in that case, I think what has to happen here definitely is the players have to realize that we've got, 3 minutes and 55 seconds left in the game. In that case, the young player from defenseman for Lucas had to take his time. He had a lot of space in front of him and set that play up. They can't panic now. They've got to wait and have a little bit of patience and get that puck down and try and exert some pressure on RMC.
Min plays the puck behind his goal. Nice hit there. That goes to center ice, picked off by Fletcher, and his long shot stopped by Sybil, and he'll hang on for a face-off to the left of the Viking goal.
I know if I had Fletcher on my team, he'd be one guy that I'd be looking for to set up from the point all the time. The kid's got a great shot and a lot of mobility. Be a good man to act as sort of your wheelman up high and try and set the play up and get the flow, the overload going. Again, with 3 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game, Lucas just have to get a lot of pressure, and they've got to take that puck in though. They've got to work it in deep. They're not going to make it like that.
And we'll have a.
Well, they're fortunate they didn't get an icing call there because I didn't see a touch on it.
Puck kept in the Titan zone. He fans on the path, but he still gets it out to center ice, intercepted by the Viking defender. And that goes past King into the corner. Picked up there by Goodwin. Goodwin looking to get out of his own zone. That's his pass is deflected. Puck kept in. Now King, he'll take it out. King just dumps it in on net for Min. Min will steer it behind his goal. He'll fall on it for a face-off to his left. Not trusting his defenseman to get back in time.
This is where you've got to shorten your bench a little bit with this time period left and get your best guys on now and tell them at all costs you've got to have your best face-off man down there to try and win the draw, and your players really have to have quick feet. You've got to make sure that there are 2 men on the puck at all times and that the RMC team doesn't have a chance to drive that puck out of the zone.
Puck gets back out to the point for Theodosopoulos. That steered behind the Titan goal and kept in there around the boards. Picked up by Benoetti. Puck now goes back to the point for Hagel. Hagel's shot right on, stopped by Min. Another stop by Min, he scores! With 2:26 left to go in the third period, the Lucas Vikings tie this one up.
I think that was Shackleton, number 15. Could be wrong, but yeah, it was Shackleton. Went upstairs, the old peanut butter shelf on that. And it was after, again, the second rebound came out. Off a shot from the point. And number 6, Hagel fired it in there, but I believe Shackleton got the rebound and put it upstairs. It's a nice goal. And that's the kind of thing I alluded to earlier, Mike, is that once you get a face-off into the zone, you've got to have quick feet, get on the puck, create pressure, and especially in deep zones like this, go back to your point man and jam the net. In this case, they did a good job. RMC were doing an excellent job of forcing Lucas down here in their own zone to try and force a long pass. And, you know, obviously, Lucas had to get that puck out of their zone, and the only guy, or it seemed to me the guy with the most poise on their defense who could do it was Scott. And it turned out that Scott did take it down and set it up. Scott King, I should say, took it down and set it up. But a lot of young defensemen look at it, they tend to panic with the clock winding down, and they say, gosh, I got to throw the long pass. And in the meantime, they probably got 30 feet of ice in front of them. So they got to use the space, just skate with the thing and set it up.
2:26 left to go in the third period. It's all tied up between the Lucas Vikings and the Regina Mundi Titans. Vikings now take it out. That's Theodosopoulos taking it down the right side. He's got the room, but we're going to have a offside call here. Now, Dak, with 2:17 left to go, this actually in its own right becomes an overtime period because anybody who scores now could easily win this hockey game.
Yeah, and the momentum has shifted a little bit. I feel that as well as RMC has played, obviously in the whole tournament and in the game, Lucas seems to have a little bit more jump in them. And what RMC you've got to look to now, what Mike Cheney has to look to, are as veterans that they've got to perhaps collect themselves and know, hey, it's a tie hockey game. They haven't lost the hockey game, it's tied, and try to get a little bit more poise into their attack.
Well, another whistle called. 2:06 left to go in the third period. And face-off is brought back all the way into the Viking end to the right of goaltender Martin Sibold. Played an excellent game tonight, as has John Min. Both goalies making stellar saves when they had to.
What you have to make sure of in this situation is that you really tie up your man if you lose the draw.
Passing behind for Bogart. Bogart now, he'll take it in the corner, looking up somebody to pass. He'll just shoot. Go off the side of the net there. As he had McKenzie all alone. Now King will take it out. He finds Noel back, and that'll just go into behind the zone. Now Noel will keep it in on the Titan, behind the Titan zone. Handled there by Ralph. Ralph back to Brown. Batting angle shot, cleared out into the center ice zone. And a dump back into the Viking end. Back to pick it up is Goodwin. Goodwin now loses control for a moment and then dumps all the way down. And icing is going to be called with 1:12 left to go. It's all tied up here between the Regina Mundi Titans and the Lucas Vikings.
Mike, one area you always stress with hockey players is that they're going to be lazy, and you don't want to be lazy at all when they're out on the ice, but if they have to take a breather, never do it defensively or in your own zone. And both teams have played very well tonight, but one area I feel they've let down is that in their own end, they've been a little bit slow in getting in and neutralizing the pressure of going 2-on-2 in your own zone.
Weak shot there by Baguero. Kind of caught Martin Sibbald a little bit by surprise, but he hangs on for another faceoff.
Lucas were fortunate down here in this end earlier, just a few seconds ago, because they had two Regina Mundi players in the corner and one Lucas player, and they let them control the puck and come out and get a shot on net.
Hagel now. Oh, good. Long pass intercepted by Robertson. Kept into the Titan zone. Now to be taken out by Platic. Long cross-ice pass. However, Theodosopoulos played that one well. And now Brad Dwyer showing some moves. He gets up to center ice. That's chopped out. Taken again by Theodosopoulos. He's checked, but he's just dump it into the corner as the Vikings change on the go. Pass up the center ice. Goodwin will just dump it all the way back in again. 24 seconds left to go in the third period. This one could headed to overtime. Picked up by McKenzie. McKenzie skates in. A lot. Blast is deflected. And we'll have a stoppage of play with 13 seconds left to go in the third period. Dak, looks like we're going to overtime.
Yeah, it's been an excellent game. What a great game for the fans, and a tremendous way to end a very long, enervating tournament where the guys are picking up great experience. One thing that both teams are doing very well, a smart move at this stage of the game, is that you don't try to play cross-ice hockey just inside the other team's blue line or try to make fancy plays in the neutral zone. They're getting it up to center, and they're dumping it in deep, and they're trying to keep it in deep. I think what they have to do is get some guy on the fly, though, on the off-puck wing going in and trapping that puck, trying to force a turnover.
Theodosopoulos almost loses it in his own zone. Chased in there by Christian Creel. And the buzzer sounds, and we're headed to overtime. Just like this bronze medal game, this one, the championship gold medal game, is headed toward overtime as well.
Both these clubs are well deserving as champions. Gosh, I don't know. You know, situations like this, obviously, number one is that in transition, when you lose the puck, you've got to pick up the guy who hasn't got the same colored sweater on you have, and make sure that you don't leave any seams open. You're going to have the real blue chippers on each club who are going to be just a little cuter with the puck, and won't matter on a one-on-one or man-to-man defense. They're going to probably create some situation if they've got enough energy left. Platic and Noel are the two kids I'm really referring to, who I feel are the two top players on the ice right now, and either one of them can create the turnover to win the game, but again, it's going to depend on what teams do in transition. When they lose the puck, the better hockey club's going to win the game.
Well, the first overtime period's 5 minutes. It'll be a 3-on-3 situation, 3 attackers for each side. Now, Dak, who would you give the nod to in this situation?
Well, again, you've got 19 against 21, and I think you've got the other foot soldiers out there, so I would neutralize 19 and 21 and call that a saw-off and say whatever the foot soldiers do, the extra players, the harder they work, that team's going to win the game.
King chases it in for the Vikings. 3-on-3 overtime, 2-2 the score. King will carry it up the ice now. He's got some room, and it's called on the offside as Rob Ralph across the blue line before King did, and that'll come outside the Titan zone.
Again, I guess I have to qualify that, Mike. I wouldn't exactly call Scott King a foot soldier. That fella can really wheel with the puck. I don't think he's realized his own potential yet. He can probably play. He can probably play a little closer to the vest with a lot of pressure on him. He tends to maybe release that puck a bit early at times. He's a very unselfish hockey player, an excellent player.
Noel wins the draw, picked up by King. He skates around center ice, looking for some room. He's checked off the puck by McKenzie, but McKenzie falls down and can't make anything with it. But Robertson's in there chasing the puck after King. Long pass for Noel. He can't catch up with that one. It goes back into the Viking zone. Picked up by King again. Long pass for Noel. He finds... He goes in. He scores! Jason Timms in overtime wins it for the Lucas Vikings on a beautiful feed by Scott King. And this one's over, folks.
Not Ralph, eh?
So only 40 seconds gone into the overtime. Jason Timms gets the important goal, and it's a 3-2 final score for the Lucas Vikings on a beautiful setup by Scott King. And the Lucas Vikings are the champions, or the 1992 champions of the 6th annual Regina Mundi hockey tournament. And players are celebrating down on the ice.
Well, that was a case, Mike, of the puck again in a situation where it's 3-on-3. There's an awful lot of ice open. And the Regina Mundi got caught with 2 guys in deep with a quick pass out, and just a great play by 17. Got his head up, looked for the corner, and when you played 7 or 8 games and have enough energy to see the ice that well, you deserve to win it. But I felt that I would have given the edge to RMC the first 2 periods, and certainly Lucas in the third. They came on. They seemed to have some extra wheels. But just all told, 2 teams played extremely well in the tournament, and either one of them were certainly deserving champions. And well done, Lucas and Coach Tim Moore and his staff. Great tournament. And I'm sure Mike Cheney, who's run an excellent tournament, it's got to be one of the best run tournaments in the whole province, deserves an awful lot of credit for the time and effort that Regina Mundi have put in setting it up, because I know how much effort it takes. It's nice that his own team was able to make it into the final and do so well.
Your thoughts on 3-star selection?
Well, I really felt that the first star of tonight's game should go to Min, the goaltender for RMC, because I felt certainly early in the game he held them in the game, and that as far as this particular game, Platic played extremely well throughout the game for RMC, but I would give it to Noel as the MVP as far as the forwards were concerned for Lucas, because you know, I thought that he made a lot of key passes, and he won in just kind of looking at the face-offs. I felt that he won every crucial face-off that he had to encounter. So you know, that would be my selection. For a 3rd star, I'd have to give it to the kid, Ralph, who just scored the winning goal.
Well, to run down the scoring, Regina Mundi opened it up, Jeff Platic in the 2nd period, and then they added again to the lead. Corey LeBlanc make it 2-0. However, Lucas fought back late in the 2nd with a goal by Ryan Noel, and then Siegel tied it up in the 3rd, and Ralph winning it in overtime. So for Paul McComb, our statistician, I'm Mike Mitchell, along with Dak Thomas. Dak, it was a pleasure working with you in this final game. And for all of us here at Cable 13, have a good night.
Thanks, Mike.
Community 13 would like to hear your response to the previous program. Call the Community 13 response line at 672-1286 to have your comment recorded. That's 672-1286 for the Community 13 response line.
Listen. Your heart beating continuously.